Hello, hello, hello. So this is my first draft video I'm making. Be forewarned, I am fairly terrible at the game Magic in general. I'm either terrible at drafting or terrible at playing or terrible at both. Not 100% sure yet, but we'll figure that out. Nevertheless, I enjoy doing both of them quite a bit. So that's what I'm going to do. If you're bad at something, play it more. As long as you like it, it's all good. If you get better, that's great. I have not won very many drafts, nor am I particular. Hence me thinking I'm not particularly good at them. Haven't won many games either, so probably not good at playing the game in general. That's okay. Still gonna make a video about it. Still gonna enjoy myself, and yeah, that's what's important. So we'll go ahead and do that and see where we end up. Theros Draft for 3 losses. Making the video, I may not post all of my games right away. I generally don't draft and then go straight into playing the games. I will draft and then play my games out throughout the week, so not everything might be uploaded at first, but I assure you I'll record all the matches and you can see me lose horribly 3 times at some point. Alright, so pack here, rare card does not seem particularly fantastic. Banishing Light looks like the best card. Banishing Light's an amazing card. I like Nyxborn Marauder. I like Wolfwillow Haven. Fateful End is also good, but I think white and black are my 2 favorite colors to play in this draft right now, and Banishing Light's just all around good, leaves you open if you have to splash, or you don't feel terrible splashing it. So I think we're going to go with first pick Banishing Light and hope it all works out. So in this pack, what's this guy do? Creature becomes target. Fight with a creature. Oh, of a land. Yeah, no, I don't care about you. I do like Vexing Gull. I haven't had much success playing white-blue though, so we may not end up going with Vexing Gull. I know Renata is just insane. It fits the theme that you want to play with green-white. It's crazy powerful on its own. So I'm pretty sure Renata is the pick here, not remotely close to anything else. I think the second pick would probably end up being Vexing Gull, but I don't think the power level on those is remotely close. I think Renata is just an easy second pick. So. This one, a little bit harder. I think. This guy any good? I don't know, this is the 1/4 dude. I'm pretty sure we're going to go with Warbriar Blessing. Skola is good as well, but Warbriar is just much better than it. Omen's not a bad card either. This little bear dude is probably fine. But having some sort of removal in green-white that's an enchantment, awesome. We can go with that. Oh, my picks so far are easy. Drafting's easy when everything's like very straightforward. Omen's fine if it's the enchantment theme that we have going through. Transcendent Envoy is also enchantment theme, which is fantastic. I think we're gonna go with the Envoy over the Hunt. I mean, it gives you an extra land card, but at 3 mana you don't really need the extra land card as much, and the Scry is nice, but you can normally pick these guys up later. And this guy, even if you play him as a 2/1 flyer, or 1/2 flyer for 2, he's still going to get in some points of damage, and we already have an aura card. Hopefully we'll end up with significantly more auras. I think this guy is just, Transcendent Envoy is just better for the deck overall. Outside of that, I'm not a huge fan of this dude. This is an okay card. Probably Witness of Tomorrows or Nyxborn Marauder, probably the next 2 picks. But, yeah. Easy pick for us again. Keep it moving. It looks like black is really, really open at the moment. It's that we've just seen a lot of black cards coming around. I mean, this is pretty late for this dude right here. I also like Stern Dismissal. I know a lot of people don't like that card, but there's so many auras in this format that it's just nice to play that and be like, yay, 2 for 1 you. fantastic and gives you a tempo swing. I think we're just going to stay on color. This is probably the best card in the pack, but I don't see a reason to swap over to black, even if I really like black just for that. When we can just get a 2/2 bear. Bears are great. When you play draft formats, at least from me playing draft formats, which once again, terrible information there. I'm very bad at it. But bears are, they get the job done a lot of the time. So having them is nice. Best card in the pack is Muga's Favor, I think. Mugi's Favor? Mugis's? If I pronounce every single card horribly, that's you gonna have to deal with that. You can correct me later. Yeah, I think the Favor's the best card. I don't think it's worth splashing over a enchantment bear. So we're gonna keep with our bear theme, keep with our green-white theme, though it's certainly possible that this is our first mistaken pick right here. Possible that taking Favor just to have it as a splash is better than picking up the Grove Dancer, which we probably get 700 of throughout the draft, but we still gonna go with the Grove Dancer, something that we know we're gonna play, over something that we may or may not splash, especially in pack 1. We haven't seen any really signals saying you shouldn't be in these two colors, and green seems to be flowing really nicely as we come with this training over here. I like this card quite a bit. Trample's not bad. It replaces itself by letting you draw a card instantly. Rumbling Sentry is not an amazing card, and you can get big dudes just anytime. So this completely replaceable, not worried about that. Another enchantment bear is not bad, but give me the cantrip and the enchantment, and hopefully build on more synergies of it. It's also our first one where we already have a Grove Dancer, so getting a second Grove Dancer doesn't really change too terribly much for us. I think we're going to take this. I'd say Libation is the best card in the pack, so once again another black card being the best card in the pack. Black is very open. This card might actually be good enough to just take and throw on the sideboard and maybe play it at some point. I haven't found Flicker of Fate to be that fantastic, especially when you're playing a bunch of auras. Flickering them, you just kill your own auras, you didn't gain anything out of it. So I'd rather have the dude that we're actually going to keep playing. Once again, this one could be a wrong pick. Maybe we should be going into black, maybe we should be taking Libation just to have around. But I'm going to keep with my 2/1s and my enchantment theme and move on from there. Nothing too fantastic here. Black and red card are the two best cards. You always want something with escape in your deck. We haven't got nothing with escape in our deck yet, but we're in the first pack. This is I don't know how many Marauders we've seen here. You've seen a billion of these guys. So take the escape guy and toss him on the sideboard, because ideally we're not playing this guy. Sideboard, not top of the deck. Nothing here of any use. Just start moving. Keep moving. Well, it's late for that guy. That's not a bad card. 2/3 can chump block and still draw from him. Fine filler card in general. Second Marauder. Third Marauder. I mean, we have a decent chunk of black cards if we wanted to, flip over into black. Really, but this pack right here showing us we don't really need to. This card's pretty nice. Heliod's Intervention. I also really like the Arachneer. Spider Dude. I think we're just going to take the Intervention. Gain a bunch of life, kill a bunch of enchantments. It's instant speed. Hopefully we get another chance at a spider, but we're not going to get another chance at a white Intervention, so we're going to pick that up and be happy with it. We actually got a rare in our color. That's a good sign. So Myers Grafts is actually something that I enjoy slashing. I would probably take there's enough good green cards here that I wouldn't take it, but I'd be a lot closer to taking it if it was our second training versus Myers Grasp. There's a good chance that I'd take Myers Grasp over the second training. It may or may not get splashed, but it's not particularly likely that we're going to play 2 trainings. It's more likely that we would splash for the Grasps. It's that good of a card, as opposed to taking the second training. However, there is a Hydra's Growth in here, and this card is just bananas. You throw this on a dude, and if they do not deal with said dude, they lose. Just hands down. I favor black a lot in these drafts, as I think I said earlier, and there's a bear in black that has like immunity to enchantments. It's not immunity, but he can't be blocked by enchantments. And I cannot tell you how many times I've thrown a growth on that guy and just outright won the game. Turn 2, yeah, there he is, Temple Thief. Turn 2, Temple Thief. Turn 3, Hydra's Growth on him. He just goes to town and it ends games, which is amazing. This one's a little bit harder to pick because this card is not bad. I don't think it's at the forefront of our picks right now. He'll come back around. This card's actually potentially worth splashing for. I would rather just stay 2 colors than splash for this card, but it is starting to get close to that power level realm where this is, very, very good. We also don't have anything to splash off of. We have no different colored lands. We don't have a Traveler's Amulet. We don't have that little tree dude who can produce mana. So it's I don't really feel comfortable taking that, especially when we have 2 cards that are relatively close to, or at least decent cards that are going to make your deck anyways. There's no real reason to go off to a splash card. If you have something that's going to make your deck, splashing doesn't seem like the right decision. So Archon of Falling Stars is really nice in our deck, and a 2/2 bear that sometimes does stuff. This is not a bad card. I'm kind of underplaying it by saying it's the sometimes does stuff, but even if you play it as a 2/1 for 2 that has first strike, that's still a better bear than a lot of the bears that we already have. That being said, we don't have any top end yet. This guy works good with our enchantment theme. He's flying. We're going to take the Archon, and that was a really nice first-second pick of that pack right there. Moving over here, Captivating Unicorn. A lot of people like this card. I have not been particularly impressed by it. I know aggro-wise it's great. It just hasn't worked out particularly well for me. I like Triumphant Surge. I like having at least one of them. It just makes me feel more comfortable. Again, I prefer playing black, so having some sort of removal just makes me feel more comfortable overall. I don't know if that's what we're going to go for over going for Captivating Unicorn. We do have a Banishing Light already, which is just a better card than Triumphant Surge, pretty much. So I think there's another training down here, but I wouldn't take it over either of these 2 when we already have one in particular. I think we're going to take the Unicorn. It kind of weights us down a little bit over here in the higher end, but we're planning to pick up more low-end stuff anyways, so that shouldn't mess with us as long as we keep an eye on it and don't continue to pick up too much stuff that's up there. So here we have three playables. We can take our second Grove Dancer. Again, it keeps us on that lower end of the curve. You could also take Pegasus. Pegasus has Lifelink Vigilance for 2 mana, flying. This card keeps you alive much, much longer than you should ever be alive. And so it's a little bit harder of a choice to choose between Pegasus and Chimera. Chimera, I'm leaning towards just because it's our first escape card. We don't have any escape cards yet. So picking that up is really nice. We also only have 2 3-drops. We only have 1 4-drop. But Pegasus, I think we have an opportunity. I think we'll get another opportunity at Pegasus. And I think you have to have at least 1 escape card in your deck. It just feels bad when they're all sitting in your graveyard and you can't bring something back. So we're gonna go with the Chimera. Again, this is another point in the draft that could easily be a wrong pick. Pegasus is really, really good. I just think getting our first escape card on the board is nice. I think we're gonna take another 3-drop here. Let's check how many enchantments we have actually. 2 tree. Yeah, so we already have 3 enchantments. I'm going to take the Courser, just the body. It's an enchantment as well. I really want one of these in our deck, but if we end up seeing another one of these later, I'm not sure that we'd want 2 of them in the deck, whereas I am very sure I wouldn't mind playing 2 Coursers in the deck. So I think that this card is generally better than this card, but if we see this card later, I'm going to be more disappointed having 2 of these than having 2 of these, and that's why I'm going with the Courser here. I could take another cantrip, or we could take another dirtly 2/1 guy. We could also take Omen of the Forge. This is another splash card that's good. 1 red, you get a shock, basically. It's not a bad card at all. I don't really like Binding of the Titans. I can do a thing sometimes, but meh. It's just too long of doing nothing to be a really useful card. Omen of the Forge is... Blessing's probably the best card in the pack. I'd say Omen of the Forge is probably the 2nd best card, so both the 2 really good cards are red. We have one of each of these. We're not particularly fond of playing a second one of either of these, so taking the Blessing, even though we may not play it, just because it's so much better than either of these 2 cards, is I think what we're going to go with. And it might not get played at all. It might, but it's just so much better than the 2 of them. I don't have a problem taking a pick on it. There's another unicorn coming around. I'm going to take it. It's not really comparable to anything else. Hero of Nyxborn is not bad, especially if we're considering splashing red, but we're playing more enchantments than buff spells. We don't have any giant gross, anything of that nature, any tricks, like combat tricks like that. Now, having him around is nice. Yes, if you get a trick, that's good, but even if we're splashing him, even as a 3-color, we're probably not going to hit him consistently on turn 3. Captivating Unicorn right now makes the deck, and so I think we're going to keep picking up. We're going to pick up another unicorn. I don't think having 2 unicorns is a bad thing. So I love this guy. I love the Wayfarer. I know a lot of people don't like him. I think he's fantastic. I think he's a fantastic card. It's very hard to get 1-drops in this format, and a 1-drop that can actually do something is bonkers. There's a giant Colossus over here. These spin around the table 100 times. There's probably just been 1 in both of these packs, and that's why we haven't seen much of them. Wayfarers tend to come around the table a lot as well, but they shouldn't be, in my opinion. It's just a much better card. I'd take 3 Wayfarers in my deck over a Colossus. It's really good, really nice to have. Gives you some nice play. And we're gonna take the best card in the pack, even though we're not gonna play it. Toss it over on the sideboard. Once again, just take the card, toss it on the sideboard. Don't think Sentry's making the cut. Put that over there. You are not making the cut either. A bunch of sideboard cards as we go into the next pack. There's a Giant Growth. Not interested in it. Cool card. Not interested in it. We're going to end up going with Wolf Willowhaven here. It's just the best card in our colors. It's probably the best card in the pack too. I don't think there's much in this pack otherwise that you might consider picking up. Maybe if you're really deep black, you might consider grabbing whatever the hell this guy's called, Light Breath. But yeah, we'll take Wolf Willowhaven. We'll be happy with it. This card's amazing. Gives you ramp, and then even if you draw it later in the game and you don't need the ramp, you can still sack it and get a dirtly 2/2 bear. So it has value throughout the game. Wonderful card. It's also an enchantment. Helps us with our enchantments. I think we're going to take this dude, Heliod's Pilgrim. The body itself is pretty crappy. I mean, you're getting a 2/1 for 3 mana, not good at all, not helpful. But he lets you search for an aura card, and searching up a Hydra's Growth is awesome. You can just get you there. So it's just card advantage off of playing it. I don't mind this card. A lot of people don't like it. I think it's okay. It's pseudo removal, but it's just you're not always happy to put it in your deck. So I'd rather take the card that we know we're gonna play. I don't think this is bad at all. We're really, really hoping for this Pegasus to wheel. Something will come back to us out of this pack. There's Pegasus, there's a Viper, there's an Omen, there's a 4/3 for 4. None of those cards are horrendous, so we're more than likely to get something out of this pack. I think we want to take the Pilgrim first. I think he's our biggest priority out of the stuff that's here. Ooh. We got a second Renata. That's real nice. Real nice. Boys, that's real nice. We're very happy to see this card. Easy pick. There is another escape dude down here. This is a much better escape dude than the one that we have. The Chimera, when you play him for 3, does nothing. He's going to trade with something, and then you're going to have to wait to escape him. This guy, you play a 4/4, you're happy with your body. 4/4 for 4 is nice, and then later on he escapes and is just a behemoth. So, great card. Nowhere close to Renata. Super happy to pick up this. Having 2 of these in your deck, very awesome. Alright. This one's a little bit more difficult. We don't really want this Traveler's Amulet. Yes, we were considering splashing for this Blessing. I think we're going to put that out. I think we have enough green-white that just muddying our mana base doesn't seem right. I mean, we don't have many double-colored cards, but if you don't have to go into a third color, unless it's for something absurdly powerful, having your correct mana base on a consistent basis is the best thing that you can do. This is a really hard pick right here. So, like I said, I really like Wayfarer. I think he's a fantastic card. We really want a Pegasus in our deck. Once again, great card. There's a 1-drop here that can give us protection, like stop a kill spell basically, as long as we keep a mana up. And then there's another Wolf Willow Haven. I believe we're going to go with Life's Bounty here. He's good to throw enchantments on. He's good to protect creatures, even though he can't protect himself. He's also a 1-drop, and you miss out on a lot of 1-drops. But I'm fairly certain it could be the wrong pick. Being able to protect these guys that you're tossing consistent enchantments on is really, really nice. Even having the threat of protecting them if you don't plan to is still really, really nice. So we're going to go with him. Again, could be the wrong pick. Pegasus might be a better pick. Wolf Willow Haven might be a better pick. I haven't played a lot with this card, but he just seems to fit the bill correctly. Lifelink's nice. Having the option to save one of your dudes is really nice too. Here we go, coming up with that same thing what I was telling you guys earlier. Much rather have a second Courser. We do have other options in this pack. We've got a Mana Bear over here, and we have Omen of the Sun. But having a secondary Courser is not a bad thing at all. Here I'm pretty sure we're going to pick up Omen of the Sun. I'd rather have an Omen of the Sun than a Courser in this particular scenario. If we didn't have either of them, I'd probably still take Omen of the Sun over the Courser, but I'm happier to have one Omen of the Sun, one Courser. So once again, this card comes around a fair amount. Having more than one of them is not bad, but our choice, I'd rather have one of it is better. I don't think that we need the Mana Bear. We don't have a lot of massive higher end spells, and we have a decent chunk of 2-drops already. I think if we sort it like this, yeah, we have a decent chunk of 2-drops already. So going for the 3-drop is better. It gives us some card sorting, like shifting or whatever you want to call it. This is a harder pick too. Glory Bearers is a good card. It's possible it's the one we should pick up just based on our curve. Having another 4-drop is nice. Our Pegasus also came back around, which we've wanted quite a bit. But this guy's just a beating in our deck. I mean, look how many enchantments we're sitting on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. 12 enchantments already? I mean, 12 enchantments, he's just a beast. He's going to give us massive value if he stays around. So we're not going to pass that up. I don't know. Surge might be good right now. If we're playing 18 lands, what we pick right here may or may not make our deck. So we have to look at things a little bit more closely as what we're actually taking to fill stuff out. We're probably going to play 17 lands, not 18. So whatever we pick here is probably making our deck. If we take Envoy, it helps us with 1, 2, 3, 4. It only helps us with 4 cards. Taking this gives us another 4-drop, which isn't terrible. Taking this guy is just having a big endgame stream. I think I might want the Surge. The bigger endgame dude might be the better choice than having the Surge, but again, I like removal. Hey, and so that's what we're going to go with. I think we're going to go with the removal. It makes me feel more comfortable to know that I'm not drawing dead in my deck. If they have some huge dude here, and I've already gotten rid of Hydra's Growth, and it's not an enchantment, Banishing Light's already been played, I'm just SOL, right? So having this in your deck means that you're not going to completely draw dead if they have something out there. And I just, that feeling makes me more comfortable when I play. So we're going to take Surge here. Boom. I actually really like this guy, the Lost Pride dude. I think he's a good bear. Sometimes people don't have a 2-drop. You end up getting 3/6 free damage in. Sometimes you get 3 free damage in and then a trade for whatever 3-drop they played because they can't take another 3 damage. He's just a really strong card. This guy's okay. I mean, he's going to give you some life, some longevity. He's going to do sort of what we wanted Pegasus to do, but without the offensive action. So he's basically giving us that longevity, that life that we would have gotten if we actually picked up any of the Pegasus we saw, but he's more defensive. He's not really going to attack. He doesn't block fantastically well. He's not a bad card, though, especially versus, say, blue, some of the white flyers. We don't really have much flying protection, so he might be a better pick than, say, the Colossus, which is what I'm really leaning towards right now. I like the Lost Pride, but I don't think it's making it in our deck over any of our other 2-drops. It could make it in over this dude, but nah. Yeah. It's possible that none of these cards are actually making it into the deck, and so this pick doesn't actually matter, because I don't think that I'd use this over any of our current 3-drops, and I don't think that I would toss you in. I might toss this guy in over the second Unicorn. That's a possibility. But the Pride doesn't make it, period. I think our 2-drop slots are all very nice right now. And he'd have a close going with him, but otherwise, or maybe with Envoy. So we're not going to go with him. I think we're just going to take the big guy because he has the highest probability of ending up in our deck. Doubt we're playing this dude, but he has the best chance of being played, and that's why they took him. Gain life, no Ocean Green, don't really care about that. We're just going to grab a card because it's a card. This one's Purdy. Yes, we did just draft a card because it's Purdy. We're going to keep drafting cards because they're Purdy. None of this stuff's making our deck, so the picks here are not nearly as important. Go away, sideboard. I'm trying to throw stuff in you. Once again, none of this stuff's making our deck. Don't really matter. None of this stuff's making our deck. Don't really matter. Don't really matter. And there we go. There we have it. Toss that up there. 41 cards. We're not going to play 41 cards. We want to play 17 lands, which means we got to clunk something out. The real question is, do we want the unicorn or do we want the Colossus? I think all the rest of this is set. This all looks fine. I think because we're so low end that the unicorn's actually better than the Colossus. I know that might sound kind of weird, but we're really looking to get a lot of early game damage in, and if we get enough early game damage in, having the unicorn be able to tap down that one card that they're essentially using to stabilize the board is going to be better for us than just playing some giant behemoth guy who's just going to have to eat people over and over again to get through. And a lot of times a 4/4 is good enough to eat those same people as a 6/7 is. Whatever the 6/7 can't eat, we do have 2 removal spells for. So I think we're going to go with 2 unicorns over the Colossus, and we're going to call it that our deck, and hopefully we don't lose every single game we play. Alright, and we'll see how the games go.